think it's time for an update. The garage is looking really good. I've been working really hard lately to get all the way down to each individual drawer organized. I've actually taken a little hiatus from videos here lately, just because I've been focused on getting my house in order, if you will, the proverbial house. And by house, I mean garage, the drawers, the projects. For the last 3 or 4 years of my life has been just pure pursuit. New product, new idea, new product, new idea, and then I would stack them up 30, 40 deep. As soon as I got 4 or 5 of them done, I'd stack on 6 or 8. So I'm working toward this. I've been talking about this inside the Hex a lot, but I've been working toward proactivity. I want to be proactive in my life, not reactive. For example, if a part shows up, like the cage is coming for the 997, the cage comes, put the cage in. Not, oh man, UPS, just throw it in the corner, I'll get to it later, put it on that other stack of stuff. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing, right? There's times in life where I didn't think it was possible, but part of my my neuroses, part of my problem is this compulsion. I'm very compulsive. I'll tend to just go. I become obsessed with things, and then I bleep and take on too much. And so this garage, the garage in Helen, the house in Helen, the house here, the yarn building garage, we're starting to get to a more consistent life, which is, consistent meaning the project list, the giant stack of projects. Instead of being reactive, everything being proactive is a much better place for me to live mentally. And hopefully, who knows, if you watched the last Wash and Talk or been watching me for years, you know that I struggle with, obsessive compulsive disorder, and struggle with the fears of passing out. And so I have all these great cars that I can't really drive very much. So I'm hoping that by getting my house in order, not moving so much, I'd be able to enjoy life a little bit more, and then the byproduct would be to create more value for you that are watching by getting granular, which is what I've been doing since the beginning. So let me grab the camera, let's take a walk around this place. So a big percentage reason for me to chase so hard has been the pursuit of this. The ability to be able to, one, do this for myself, but then also provide value. The only way I could afford to do this stuff is hopefully by providing ample value to the world, and ample value to any of you that are watching and are interested in this kind of stuff. So, it started with this, the pressure washing system. And what's better than one pressure washer? 2, right? So we've been testing this concept. There's some redundancy advantages to having 2 pressure washers. If one goes out, the other one would still theoretically be functioning. We have 2 dedicated 20 amp circuits. Mike's devised this valve system so we can switch between 1 or 2 pressure washers, and then the option to be able to divert, and then also have the option to run CR. The CR doesn't have enough output to run both pressure washers. So if I'm gonna do any deionization or DI washing and rinseless washing, then I'd have to make sure that I'm turning off one of the pressure washers, hence the valves. This is my original Cox hose reel, original hose. This has been in several different places. Same thing with the piping package. We've moved this quite a few times. I think this was the original OGHQ system that we've migrated over here. And then I swapped out for the new Krenzel pressure washers. I sold off the other one just because for photos and stuff. These have the vented oil caps, as well as the new smaller designed housing for the capacitor and the electronics and the switch. It's less prone to cracking and breaking. So this was a modification that happened probably a year and a half ago now. Have all Mosmatic fittings, have the OG spec Mosmatic wand or wand holder, and then the gun and wand set up with a 7.5 orifice in order to be able to get around about 1,000 PSI, 900 PSI, something like that. So Mike had to cut this drywall and repair it, cut the drywall, put blocking in, had to cut it again to put the second pressure washer. But I've got to go get the rest of my bottles to put the bottle package together. But this has been part of the vision for a long, long time, was to have a bucket filler, have matching buckets with nice casters, have a matching set of bottles and sprayers. And so we're continuing to work toward that, continuing to test and focus on the press-alls, and we're going to continue to chase that. This year is going to be a big year for detailing and function and all that kind of stuff, making sure that we're putting together simple packages that solve and create a better user experience. A lot of this stuff, there are significantly diminishing returns as you climb the ladder to buy a hose bib and hose, like this, where you're spending $200-300 on a bucket filler. But, I'll have this for decades. And then I did the span thing, which is kind of cool. This is why I spent, it was $3,750 to do this, plus another $1,500 or so in labor for the electrician to come and swap the box. Really, I wanted it just so that it would look clean. I didn't want to relocate like I did in the last house. It cost 3 times that to relocate the panel. So having this pretty panel was thought in that I knew that this garage would look pretty. And so, as much money as I spent on this garage, it made a lot of sense to do something fancy like this. So I wanted to do it to try it out. It's a smart panel that would connects to the app, which doesn't do a whole heck of a lot because I don't have solar, but if I added solar to the house, it would be more beneficial. Then we have the hide-a-hose system. It's interesting. These are all white, but they're all different shades of white. So the hide-a-hose system, my vacuum will climb up in the attic in a minute here, but this magic of this system is that you can pull it out. We lock it in place. Just pull out a few feet here for you. Let's lock it in place, turn it on, and we have a pretty freaking awesome, this hose will come out 50 feet, and then when you're done with it, all you have to do, leave it on, unlock it, and you put your hand on the end here, and it'll suck it back in. Vacuum system, we had another call today, so the hide-a-hose as well as Cox hose reel version, which will be quite a bit simpler. We're going to be launching that here in the next few weeks on pre-order. And then I have my Leviton. This is the prettiest structured wiring box I could find that fit in a normal size hole. And then in here is where I have I have a what is it? I forget what brand this is. TP-Link Deco. And then it's a cable modem, and then I have just a basic network switch. And then we have our Pentair system, so you can run the pool by app. And so the little bit of structured wiring that was in the house, a little bit of Cat 5 that was running throughout, I was able to just kind of organize and put here. It was already home run here, and so I just cut a bigger hole and put the Leviton box in. And the Leviton has all the little shelves and all that stuff that you can buy to put in place. And then as you can see, we have our white Lista, and it's not pure white. I forget what color Kyle said it is. I think it's called flat white is the color, but I am in love with it. So it's a matte finish, as you can see. It's not shiny in any way, but it's not so matte that you wouldn't be able to wipe it down. Once I get the replacement cabinets for the ones that were damaged, like this one here, then I'm going to be sure to, I'm gonna seal and wax them. I just think it'll make it a little easier to clean. This is where the vacuum accessories is gonna go. So I'm gonna grid out this, just kind of through all kinds of things I'm testing in here. But the nice thing about the Lista cabinet array is that you can buy the separators or you can buy bins. So for this particular drawer, I'll likely just do separators. I may tool grid it out, we'll see. But when I make the decision on what our accessories are going to look like, then I'll size it and put everything in the right spot. And then this holds a 45 gallon garbage can, which I love. And so I was planning to do garbage and microfiber towels in here, but I'm not going to do that. I like having the bigger garbage can in here, just a much better option. And then I'm going to have all my detailing stuff here, so I need to go and rob HQ. You can see there's a little divot here too. Dang it. my cabinets took an impact on shipping, so I have replacements coming. So all of my gallons are going to be here, and so we'll have gallons to support our bottles, our matching Pressol bottles, and that'll all be here in this cabinet, all set up and categorized and put in the right spot. And then, as you can see, we ordered the countertop. We actually made and added this cabinet at the 11th hour, so I need to get a proper top. But this top, we'll talk about the top in a minute, but this is a Rubio monocoat, a dark stained, or I forget what color we call this, but it's a walnut finish with a dark brown, like a carbon black stain. I forget what the Rubio monocoat is. And then in here is where I'll have all my polishing, detailing stuff. So I took most of the stuff I had here to Helen, so I need to restock. So I'm making lists of all the things that need to go in here. But all leather care and polishing and pads and all of the detailing stuff will go in these cabinets. This will be the microfiber towel cabinet, as well as overflow for other detailing stuff. So I'll have the full Matt Mormon Master Collection. I'll need to move the shelves around. If you've been following along, I did a Hayfella setup, a dual Hayfella garbage can. So I'll move this shelf up, do a pull-out, soft close, dual Hayfella garbage can system, and then that's where, instead of throwing towels in the bottom, my towels will be housed there. These cabinets are a foot taller than the Sonic ones, and they're, I believe, several inches deeper, like 2 inches deeper than MSS Plus, and I think 9 inches deeper than the MSS line. So for me, Lista's not replacing Sonic. I just need other cabinets. I need more cabinet options. We need other color options. I would like to have other things like different garbage cans, and just give people options. And so who better to guinea pig it than yours truly? And so we've done a full house, full home swap to Lutron Radio Raw 2. Raw 3 is, I guess technically take over Raw 2 eventually, but the Raw 3 stuff is like impossible to get. Raw 2 stuff was hard enough. So I have 1, 2, 3 garage lights. These are Pico controlled. Now I'll show you when we run up in the attic here, but up in the attic, which I have a motorized stair system, there are 0 to 10 volt, what they call POW packs. So this is just a wireless 10-year battery lifed little remote control. You can swap the battery if you needed to, but it has like a battery that lasts 10 years. This is the outdoor wall lights. This is the light in here in the hallway here. And then I've converted also to the LiftMaster 8500. So our 2 LiftMaster 8500s are cleanly put here. I think one of the things we'll do as we pursue proactivity and perfection here, we'll do high lift. And then I'd like to powder coat all the door hardware. So these are insulated co-play doors. Not anything special. They were here at the house. And of course I painted the whole garage. The color here is called Benjamin Moore Harbor Gray AC25, which they've changed the color. It's now called something chain. You can always shoot us an email and we'll look it up for you. In the corner for my bike, I put the lift. This is called the bike. It's just called the lift. This thing is freaking awesome. So that's my one-up bike rack, and then my other mountain bike's out in the shed. But we put this in place here. Mike had to run wires for that. And I have to remove my ADT camera there because it's now behind it. But this is a motorized system that brings the bike down. They're also going to have a bike stand here soon for doing repairs. So I would kind of work on the bike over in this little nook here, which would be kind of cool to do. I have swapped all the outlets to Lutron as well. So these are new Lutron GFCI. And then I have to take the little tabs off of these as well. They're sitting kind of cockeyed like that. But these control the fans. So Viper fans are not remote controllable. There's a potentiometer. So I just set the fans to 50%. And then these, I technically don't need dimmers. I just couldn't get a hold of it on off. And so I'll eventually swap these to on-offs. And because the fans they won't accept a dimmer, because I was hoping I could just like put a fan switch on there and change speeds, but it doesn't work. It's either on or off. And then you have to adjust the potentiometer on the top of the fan. But I think at like 50%, they're about half as loud as the old Air Kings that I used to do, and quite a bit more efficient. They move some more air. So don't judge me yet. I'm not, haven't done all our wiring, but I'm gonna do the core sub here in the corner loaded on the stem wall. I don't have any intention of changing the block walls. I don't mind block walls in a garage. You know, if I was building a garage from scratch, I probably wouldn't have it. But I'll talk to you in a second what we're going to do for the backsplash. So then we have the main Lista array, and we size this Lista stuff so that it holds very closely, holds all of the Sonic foam inlays. So I've got set up the full Sonic Master Collection. I've got several tools that, long story short, you'll have to watch the tool grid video. I tell the whole story. I bought every one of Sonic's tools, and then I bought the foam inlays, and so I have some redundancy that I needed to fill in. So all this stuff I'll have coming here shortly. But the XD drawers, like these here, like this is called an XD, it fits all the way to the back. And then what I'm going to do is I've ordered the divider so that this will pressure fit in here and not slide around or move. I also have drawer liners in here. So it's so funny when anybody comes over to to look at stuff and they talk about soft close and stuff like that. I have yet to see a high quality cabinet that has soft close. The soft close glides can't handle the weight. These are from Austria. They're Austrian glides. The beauty of them is they're really, really easy to take the drawers out, and they hold 440 pounds, and they're nice and smooth. But no quality cabinet I've ever seen has soft close drawers. I don't think you really need that anyway. The weight is just too much to handle it. So I've got to figure out something with my toe kick here, because the drawer or the floor is pitched. It's super sloped. This is not a super well-built house, but I'm tearing it apart trying to make it great. So you'll see I've got a really unique backsplash idea. It's called paper stone. So I'm gonna have a backsplash all the way here. I've got some under cabinet trim so that I can do our Obsessed Garage under cabinet lighting, because you can see our lighting is fantastic in here. There's just a little bit of a shadow on the very back part of the countertop. So we've got to fix that. And so notice the outlets were covered. And so what I'm having made, which is coming here shortly, is going to be an 8-inch backsplash that matches the same thickness. And we're having them routed out so we can run electrical through the backsplash. And then I'll run all our speaker wiring and all of that stuff as well. So all that'll be taken care of. So we're going to take the outlets here. We'll turn them horizontally. We'll have 4 outlets. And I'm going to wire power, so I'm going to put a 4-gang box in this cabinet for the Milwaukee Master Collection battery charging and Ego, and then my NAD stuff is going to go in the right cabinet to power the system, power the speakers. So this will all be wired up here in the next few weeks. We needed to get this in, and then we didn't think about with Lista. And us having the cabinets mounted on the wall and not having a specific backsplash or back panels, it's 2 separate units. So there's a stem wall, and so there's a gap, and so that's why we need a backsplash. So the countertops have not been fixed yet. It also gives them some time to expand and contract down to what they shrink a little bit. It gives a little time for them to kind of acclimate to the climate in the room, in the garage here. I will take off all the badges. That's the plan. But the cabinet array, every single drawer will have a purpose. Well, I'd say 80% of the drawers will have a purpose. The Milwaukee Master Collection, which I'm putting together, that will all go here. It's going to look like this, where I have all of the accessories are going to be in here, and I have bins and everything for all of this stuff. So I've been working on this the last few days. working on setting it up where, I think what I'd like to do is I'm gonna set them up in the drawer here where these are open, like this. And then we'll have it gridded out to where they stay in place. I just think that would be really cool. And then you could always grab this and take it with you, you know, if I was going into the other room or something like that. This cabinet I think is gonna be all set up with bins to house, I'm gonna house like all of our, so the Lista makes bins that will fit specifically to the drawer. And so lag screws and all that kind of stuff I'll have really dialed in. I just kind of threw everything in here for now. So that's the plan here. So think full Milwaukee Master Collection. So 50 tools in here, as well as Ego. It'll easily fit. Actually, the full Master Collection fits in a like a 20-inch wide cabinet. So this is way bigger, 36 inches and way deeper. So we'll have an Ego charging station, Milwaukee charging station. I'll have my 50 tools here. And I'll probably bring the table saw in here as well. I might even set it up to where I could probably fit the chop saw, table saw, full Milwaukee Master Collection, and Ego in this cabinet, but I won't press my luck. Up top here is where I'll do tapes and adhesives and, you know, just fill these cabinets with stuff that, you know, you use around the house. This garage will be much more focused on home tools, but still have, you know, stuff to work on cars. I'm gonna bring my Pit Boss jack here as well. Then I have all the Sonic Master Collection here, but this garage will be focused on, you know, making sure I have lag bolts and things like that. And then I'll show you the system when I give you the tour of the yarn building, give you an update there as well on what I'm going to be doing with nuts and bolts and all that stuff. So audio system. Oh, by the way, so all of these drawers are here. So 1, 2, 3 is all filled with tools. And then the two uppers is gonna be tool gridded out. Oops. The two uppers are gonna be tool gridded out. So these big long ones, this is from, you know, 3 houses removed. I just kind of threw everything in here. But this will all be gridded out with all the different things you need, like, I don't know, tape measures and all that kind of stuff, electrical stuff. So I'm gonna redo this, re-outfit that. I'm also gonna chase Knipex, and so I'm gonna do a full Knipex array here for all of our pliers and stuff like that. So the audio system in here is going to be 5.1. So I'm gonna put some rears up here in the rear of the room, and then I have these amazing speakers that I absolutely love. One of my favorite speakers of all time. These are Heritage Specials. So I just pulled it out here just so I could put the camera on it a second ago. But these are freaking incredible speakers. And they were in my office, and I just wasn't using them. I'd rather have them in my garage. And so this walnut finish, it doesn't quite match but it doesn't clash, and it's on isoacoustic stands. By the way, we have isoacoustics. I think they're up in the store now, so I'm a dealer for it. I need to make some videos on it, but it decouples it. And now I'm at proper height, standing height. And then this time, one of the mistakes I've made in my audio setups in garages, with my garage, is it's just the speakers are too far apart, 20 feet apart. And so I'm incorporating a center channel, and I went totally nutso. That I can do this because this is what I do for a living. But this is a Contour 60. This is our Contour 25C. This is the same center channel that I have in my home theater in the other room. This is a really, really expensive speaker, but it's relatively timber matched to the Heritage Specials. And so this center channel, which I think is going to be a really neat idea. So think paper stone backsplash, which is a black backsplash. Because this room is so sterile, the wooden countertop, the wooden speakers, and then a black backsplash that goes all the way to the top of the cabinet array. And then I'm gonna have a floating shelf, a big shelf that goes across the top, and that's where the center channel is gonna go. So the center channel will not be at proper height, but I'll flip the bracket around and the stand around, it'll point down. And it'll help sort of tie in, and most of the time I'll probably listen to 2-channel, but anytime I'm doing any kind of TV watching in here, and I plan to do quite a bit of it, It just doesn't sound very good just having a pair of speakers that are 20 feet apart, even if they're really great speakers. So I'm doing surround in here because I love it and I can. I love audio, so it gives me an excuse. I'll listen to music and watch more TV out here than anywhere else in the house. And so the shelf is going to be the same thickness, and it's going to through screw on the top of the cabinets. So it'll go from cabinet to cabinet. It'll be a little bit shallower than the cabinet. The center channel will go on that. And then I bought an insane TV, a ridiculous TV. I'd rather have OLED, but not in the garage. It becomes almost impossible to see. And so I bought last year's Sony Z9J, the new one's the Z9K. This was a $7,000 or $8,000 TV at one point. B&H had them for $3,000. Normally I wouldn't put that expensive of a TV in a garage, but I'm in this deep. And so I've got a pretty awesome setup out here with audio, and so I figure I'm going to do a great display. A lot of times I'm in here, especially with the insulated doors and the air conditioning. I'll be in here, not critically watching, but I'm going to have my ISF guy come out and calibrate it after it breaks in. So think 75-inch mini LED, center channel on top, left, right, just a single pair of in-ceiling speakers in the rear. And then what I'm going to do is power that with a T758, mainly because I just want to test this, which is not, it works with these speakers. Like right now I have it hooked up, but the 758 is it's rated at 80 watts per channel. But it's a $1,800 receiver. I'm not going to really use the amplification for it. I wanted NAD so that it communicates Blue OS with the rest of the system in the house. But I'm going to do 2 amplifiers, which I actually have there in the other room. And so that 7-channel receiver is going to go in this cabinet. And then what I'm doing is I have 2 C298 amplifiers. One will be bridged mono, which will get me 640 watts to the center channel. And then it'll be 300 watts per channel left and right. So I'll run the 1259 as, wait, what did I just say it was? 1C298, sorry. 1298 as stereo for the left and right, and the other as mono. And then the rear 2 channels I'll run off the receiver, and then of course we have the core subwoofer on the left side. And a single sub is all I'm going to do in here, which will be sufficient. I talked about the Viper fans. So the Viper fans up flanked. The ceilings here are 11'6", so it's a pretty nice height for what we're doing here. And so I'll share with you as I get this done, but I'll have every drawer, gridded out, organized with either tool grid or you saw the sonic foam inlays, setting up the Milwaukee accessory collection, all of the various Milwaukee tools. I'm going to have just a floor jack in here in case I ever want to, jack them up to change a tire or something. But the garage is my studio is only 2 miles from here, 1.5 miles from here, so I can always just go there and do that. So the lighting in here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I have 13 8-foot CREE LS fixtures that are 5,000 Kelvin. I don't know, the camera's adjusting for the light here, which, it's quite a bit brighter than what the camera's showing you. And I have 1 4-footer. So, 14 fixtures, 3 different zones. Also, if you notice on the ceiling here, you'll see I have motion sensors. Because the ceilings are pretty high, the motion sensors are designed to work like 9 feet or lower. I've got 5 motion sensors in here, and the motion sensors are programmed to only control this here. So whenever you walk into that door, the motion sensor above it captures it. If you walk into this door, it captures it. If you were active in here, it captures you sort of standing in front of the workbench. And then there's one more that captures both garage doors. So if the garage doors were to open, then just this back light turns on. I have it dimmed to about 70% right now, but I like to have headroom. So this is more light than you need, but has headroom in case you're trying to do something or you needed a little bit more light. Mike cased out the doors, so these doors did not look this good. We already had the blinds in here, and then I did a Mitsubishi. This is an undersized unit, an undersized 24,000 BTU. You probably should do 32,000 BTU in here, but being it's undersized, it runs more often, or runs, I guess, it does a little more dehumidification because it's slightly undersized. And with the insulated doors, the ceiling isn't insulated, but this is a really efficient unit, so it stays really, really comfortable in here at all times. Even in the summer, it'll be great. And then I have the fans to move some air if I was ever doing any work in here. And you can see all the Lutron swap. So I also did, now I couldn't do the magic stairs that I did in the last house. So these are stairs from a company called Elaire. And I also did the magic lift, which you can get in our store. The stairs you can't, but you can hit me up and I'll share it with you. But the lift is set up so that it fits between, even when the car is parked, and even when I have the car parked a little too far over to this side, the magic lift comes all the way down, and it can take, it says 150 pounds. It's actually capable of carrying more than that. Mike rode up it. So it fits between the cabinets and everything, and so I don't have to take a car out to use it. Really pretty freaking cool. Pretty cool setup. And then the stairs are motorized, come down like this. They take about, well, I don't know, whatever this is, 20, let's just say 30 seconds to come down. And then they're much, much more stable and sturdy to go up, especially since we're going up nearly 12 feet. And notice the attic stairs, also, I don't have to move a car out. Pretty freaking cool. I have the Tesla charger, in case I ever get another Tesla. I have a Rivian coming, supposedly in March or April. I guess not that far away. And so I'd swap the Tesla for a Rivian charger. But see, the stairs are quite a bit more robust. You can also get, which they'd recommend if you have the ability to size your opening. You talk to Elaire, it's E-L-A-I-R Industries or something like that. But these are a 18-inch wide step. You can do a 24-inch wide, and it's even more stout. But notice you got like these double steps. Just makes it a pretty nice experience to climb up, nice and sturdy. So my home garage is, God, it's pretty darn epic. I'll never be done with it. The longer I stay here, the more cool stuff I'll do to it. But it's going to be nice to just enjoy it for a while. The last house, I never got to really enjoy the garage. We moved out. I really didn't like that community. The house was too small. The house wasn't too small. It just wasn't right for us. This just feels better. I plan on just moving here temporarily and then moving straight out, but I really like it. We like it here a lot. We like the community. There's no HOA, so they don't mess with us. It's just, yeah, the whole experience is good. And so I decided to really dig into this garage. We're trying some things like the Idahos, the span system, the dual Krenslas. I don't think I'll put a lift in here, but maybe someday I would. Maybe we'd cut the floor and put a lift. I doubt it, just because right down the street, I have the capability to do that. The only thing that would be nice is if I had a lift. If I did like wash, I could throw the car in the lift and then kind of finish the project. So maybe we would do that at some point. I'm also going to build a wash bay outside. We might start that project this summer, so we'll see how things go. But the TV and audio system, I'll make a separate video. We install that. Make sure to go check out the Lista video where we install the Lista stuff. And then I'll have some follow-ups with the drawer organization as I get all the drawers organized, and we'll show you each one of them in a separate video. But I did want to give you an update where I'm at. I'd say we're 80% done, and last 10% will be reserved for the future, but the next 10 will be doing the backsplash and the audio and all that stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Go to obsessedgarage.com if you want us to design your garage. We can certainly do that with you or for you. And yeah, look forward to seeing you in the next one. As always, stay tuned for more crazy. See you in the next one.